Lots of exciting things to discuss this week. Hello, I'm Crypto Casey, and welcome to another episode of Last Week Crypto. Every Sunday, we review the performance of the largest cryptocurrencies, top gainers, as well as the latest global news stories affecting the crypto markets this past week. This week, we will discuss more unsurprising draconian antics by the US government, how this impending Bitcoin rally will be much different than previous ones, and finally, we will take a look at a small cap altcoin project with lots of exciting news unfolding this coming week. To check out the links to all the articles we discuss, go to cryptocasey.com/lastweekcrypto. This week's episode is brought to you by Crypto.com, an exchange with over 55 different cryptocurrencies. On Crypto.com's mobile app, you can buy crypto with bank transfers, credit, debit cards, or crypto at true cost with no markups. Crypto.com also has a desktop exchange that is solely for crypto-to-crypto trading, which isn't available in the US quite yet. If you use the link below to sign up for Crypto.com, you'll receive $25 worth of cryptocurrency for free when you use the referral code CryptoCasey, all while supporting the channel. It's so important to have relationships with multiple exchanges in this bull market, because many times exchanges have to hold funds, freeze transactions, and lock accounts when they are overloaded with increased demand. So check out my list of recommended exchanges below to sign up so you have multiple options to trade when the trading activity starts spiking. Also, every Wednesday I conduct a weekly AMA or Ask Me Anything at Instagram.com/CryptoCasey. So use the link to my one and only official Instagram account listed in the description area to follow me and ask me anything you want every Wednesday. I will be starting to live stream content to my twitch.tv/CryptoCasey account, so pop over there to subscribe for some weekly live content soon. Awesome. Let's see about last week crypto. Looking at the top cryptocurrencies by market cap, it's been a bearish week overall. Bitcoin down 0.7%, ETH down 2.3%, XRP down 10.6%, and Litecoin down 4.8%. Looking at the top gainers this week, Elrond up 36.5%, Nexo, a top gainer again this week, up 36.1%, Blockstack up 31.2%, and Waves up 18.5%. Sweet. Let's jump right into some interesting, fantastical, yet completely predictable US government and stock market antics, shall we? White House threatens to fire FDA chief unless Pfizer COVID vaccine approved Friday, report says. So do you think this guy was more incentivized to ensure the public's safety from the most accelerated timetable a vaccine has ever been forced through, or protecting his and his family's own livelihood by not getting fired? Well, I guess we'll know soon enough at the potential expense of some lives, as the very next day, the FDA issues emergency use authorization for Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. In light of distribution of a vaccine, I expect the traditional markets to respond well. In fact, we already know everyone is excited that the stock market is at all-time highs. That's wonderful, but these are fantasy gains inflated and pumped up by the Fed's money printing. Meanwhile, Bitcoin has grown more than 15 times more with no money printing at all. That's real. So that's awesome news for those who have realized gains in both the stock market and Bitcoin, but that isn't exactly a large percentage of people in the United States. What about the majority of the US population that is not invested in the stock or crypto markets? If you've been watching this Last Week Crypto series over the past months, you know that my prediction a stimulus package was definitely going to drop before the US election was completely incorrect. However, I would have never guessed there would still be no stimulus in the middle of December. What says Congress about this? Get off our damn asses. Stimulus debacle exposes broken Washington. Top negotiators can't agree where to start talks, let alone how to finish them. Congressional leaders are barely talking. Renegade centrists are trying to cut a deal that Republicans don't like. And the president is predominantly focused on overturning an election that he lost. It's the latest evidence Washington is broken. At the peak of the worst public health crisis in a century, the White House and Congress are struggling to deliver another round of relief. And time in the lame duck is quickly running out. Savage Sven summarizes the situation nicely. The bottom 50% get to see stimulus funds held up by a man from Kentucky they didn't vote for, and they get to watch the top 1% get even richer enabled by a Fed who they never elected. Okay, so what's the latest with relief? Any updates? You bet. Trump signs 1-week government funding bill as Congress buys time for COVID relief. Oh nice, time, the most precious, non-renewable resource we all have, but never sure how much. The government and Federal Reserve buy themselves time through bills and printing more money, all while stealing our time. How is it so? Those who can monopolize money production become de facto currency counterfeiting operations that steal human labor in perpetuity. I mean, let's think about it. Let's say you're trading your most precious non-renewable resource, time, in exchange for $15 per hour. And since you started trading your time for US dollars, you've amassed, let's say, $10,000 in your bank account. Then, the Feds start printing an ungodly amount of US dollars, and eventually, the value of the US dollar currency rapidly decreases. So maybe your $10,000 in savings once afforded you 10 months of rent. However, as costs of goods and services adjust to the decreasing value of the dollar, your $10,000 now only affords you 5 months of rent. So while you've traded time you can't get back for $10,000, since the Feds keep printing more and more dollars, the money in your bank account is simply going to hyperinflate into worthlessness. Hence, those in charge of the artificial printing of money, like the Feds in the United States case, are stealing your human labor in perpetuity by devaluing the currency you exchanged for your time. That is an abomination. And when the government isn't stealing your time, they can opt to completely eliminate your ability to attempt to make a living earning their counterfeited currency in the first place. Like just this week, Governor Cuomo blithely destroys restaurants and people's jobs for no reason. The ban is supposedly to arrest rising hospitalizations, but what connection is there? The state's own data at Friday's press conference revealed that indoor dining accounted for a scant 1.4% of infection spread, which might be less risky than crossing the street. The restaurant threat ranked miles behind household/social gatherings, 78%, and behind 4 other categories in the state's tally. Cuomo paid lip service to restaurants' dire plight, suggesting that the federal government bail it out. That's his solution to everything. Let Washington pay. Oh yeah, Washington is definitely gonna jump right on that. Granted, maybe after a few more funding bills to buy time, more bickering and stalemate among Congress on the amount of the stimulus package, then maybe after their big zombie corporation cronies that don't actually create value in the economy get their undeserved stimulus first. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. Small businesses, medium businesses, the middle class, and the lower class populations are not prioritized. We don't matter to Congress, and neither do the foundations on which this nation was founded. The governor of New York is violating the Constitution and shutting down small businesses. He has continued to take a salary and even wrote a book during the pandemic. He wrote a book! Give me a break. These power-hungry career politicians have lost their minds. But did they ever have minds to lose in the first place? The government consistently violates the Constitution, especially in a crisis like COVID, which we are seeing right before our very eyes. In fact, during extreme crises, governments can also seize people's gold. There have been some stunning examples of gold confiscation in the past. Most memorably, this occurred in the US in 1933 during the Great Depression, albeit it's more accurate to call it a nationalization than a confiscation, since citizens were compensated. The government of Franklin D. Roosevelt seized all gold bullion and coins via Executive Order 6102, forcing all citizens to sell at well below market rates. Immediately after the confiscation, the government set a new official rate for gold that was much higher, as part of the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. So when considering all of the US government's moral and principled actions they displayed throughout history thus far, how much fake or missing gold will we find when we start to audit government gold reserves? That would be a riot if it ever happened. In the end, remember, every piece of property in the world is a government IOU, except physically custodied gold or other bearer assets, and private keys to Bitcoin. For now at least, fall Decoded, the War of the Wallets, 12.4 through 12.11. Determining the future of who can and cannot custody crypto and how much you need to know about them remains a central topic of discussion. So similar to how the US government forced everyone to sell their physical gold to them at a discount in exchange for US dollars, they may try to ban your right to control your own private keys. This is why you should transfer your cryptocurrency investments to cold storage hardware wallets. Because what they may try to do is own and control all the crypto themselves and only allow common people to have price exposure through third-party BS like Robinhood, PayPal, and pretty soon all the crypto exchanges that currently allow withdrawal to self-custody wallets. So the best time to get a cold storage hardware wallet was yesterday. The next best time is today. So scroll down to the description area below to access the correct and official sites of my recommended hardware wallets. BC Vault is my personal favorite. Another option is the Ledger Nano Backup Pack. So scroll down and check them out. And once your crypto is secure and protected, you also need to protect your ability to generate income. And there are a ton of opportunities currently available in the cryptocurrency and blockchain tech space. And the opportunities will continue to exponentially increase. So if you're interested in learning how to become a developer in the industry or learn more about the advanced technical concepts of blockchain technology, check out Ivan on Tech's Academy. Using the link in the description area, you can access the Academy at a discounted price. So scroll down, check it out. Threats of regulations that will destroy cryptocurrency at large should not discourage us though. Welcome to crypto, where every 3 months for the last 10 years, there's a new rumor that a regulator is about to squash us. But we're still here. And this incoming rally will be different. Let's check out why the Winklevoss twins think Bitcoin's rally is different this time. The Winklevoss twins say Bitcoin's current bull run is different from the previous boom because institutional investors have now bought the cryptocurrency. This is the most sophisticated investors, the smartest people in the room buying Bitcoin quietly, said Tyler Winklevoss. For example, just this week, we see MicroStrategy complete $650 million bond sale to finance next Bitcoin purchase. The bond sale underscores MicroStrategy's conviction that Bitcoin is a generational investment opportunity, which is also why a massive 169-year-old insurance company just bought $100 million of Bitcoin. MassMutual becomes the latest announced institutional buyer of Bitcoin, and this one could be even more significant in terms of precedent. Insurance companies starting to buy crypto is much different than other institutions taking the plunge. This signals the beginning of a significant industry trend that will prove extremely bullish for the cryptocurrency space at large. Nice. Let's take a quick journey into the altcoin forest, reviewing an extremely small cap opportunity that will likely see a lot of action this week and may turn out to have good long-term investment potential. While I really do not like to talk about high-risk, low-cap altcoins, I get a lot of questions about projects I have my eye on. But I just want to make it very clear up front that any cryptocurrency you decide to invest in, the losses are 100% on you, as well as any gains. Only you can take 100% credit for any nice gains you realize in this space. None of this is financial advice by any stretch of the imagination, so after doing your own research and due diligence, that's when you should decide whether or not it's a risk you are willing to take. Cool. So let's check out POLKASTARTER. We will briefly go over what POLKASTARTER is, how it's different from other existing projects, and a couple of exciting things happening with the project this coming week ahead. So what is POLKASTARTER? POLKASTARTER is a DEX, or decentralized exchange, built for cross-chain token pools and auctions, enabling projects to raise capital on a decentralized, permissionless, and interoperable environment based on Polkadot. So this project is similar to Uniswap in that it's a decentralized exchange, except unlike Uniswap that operates on the Ethereum network, POLKASTARTER operates within the Polkadot ecosystem. And Polkadot is a project that's main goal is to achieve interoperability between separate blockchains like Ethereum, Chainlink, Cosmos, allowing data to flow across any type of blockchain, basically combining the best of all blockchains through its interoperable protocol. And since the decentralized exchanges like Uniswap have seen massive adoption, demand, and usage over the past several months, in fact, we've seen approximately 1,100% growth compared to 2019, POLKASTARTER will be an exciting DEX addition to DeFi at large. So how is POLKASTARTER different from existing projects? POLKASTARTER focuses on solving Uniswap's biggest challenge, running fair token sales. We do this by providing fixed swap pools, enabling users to participate in token sales without worrying about bots or high slippages. And here you can see how POLKASTARTER compares to Uniswap in functionality, allowing for cross-chain pools, a governance model, fixed pools, and whitelisted pools. Nice. So this Tuesday, December 15th, POLKASTARTER is launching its platform, and 3 project listings will debut on it in this launch week. MahaDAO, SpiderDAO, and the other will be announced later. So it should be an interesting week for POLKASTARTER. At the time of this video, the token is up 34% in the last 24 hours. However, the market cap is extremely small, at around 19 million. Let's see what it's at in next week's episode after its launch. POLKASTARTER's token, POLS, can be easily swapped for Ether on Uniswap, which you can access in the description area below. There are a ton of fake websites popping up pretending to be Uniswap and other exchanges, so it's important to use the link listed below and bookmark the site to access it in the future. Remember, never, ever enter your private key or wallet phrase into a website that asks for it. All of those are 100% scams and they will steal all of the funds in your wallet. Also in the description area is the contract address for POLS, or POLS, because tons of impersonation projects are popping up pretending to be the official ones. So please use the contract address listed below to interact with the correct token. Awesome. Well, that was Last Week Crypto with me, Crypto Casey. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more crypto content. To check out the links to all the articles we discussed, go to cryptocasey.com/lastweekcrypto. So are you just as unsurprised at the US government's antics as I am? Or find it rather shocking? What do you think about the rushed COVID vaccine? How do you think the launch of POLKASTARTER will go? Let me know in the comments below. Be safe out there.